And of course, before working on any firearm, we want to make sure it is free and clear of all ammunition. So there is no magazine to release on this. So basically you'll just need to open the slide and then visibly check the magazine well and the barrel, make sure it is free and clear. Lock the slide back, and as you can see, the magazine well right here and the barrel, the chamber area is free and clear. So I'll go ahead and put this here. So disassembly is very simple. Basically, you'd want to, well, just make sure you're pointed in a safe direction, kind of push back on the slide just a tiny bit, and then push forward on the trigger. So you just push the trigger forward, and that releases the slide, and then it just slides off the top. So we have our frame here. Here's our magazine well. Holds up to 20 rounds. This little piece, it's kind of hard to see. It's black on black on black, so everything's black. That little saddle right there, see if you can see it. And if I pull the trigger forward, you can see it go up and down. And on the side here, you can see it right there. That's what locks the slide and the barrel to the frame. There's our slide stop right there. There's our disconnector. There's our hammer. So this is as far as you would need to disassemble this. You have access to everything to clean it and wipe it all down, and give it a light coating of oil for corrosion, prevention, and for lubrication. On the slide itself, here's our dual recoil springs on their guide rods. And so basically you would just lift up on those. They are captive, so you just push forward a tiny bit and lift up. Recoil springs come out. This is our little track piece that engages the barrel. The barrel's got this little stud on the bottom that engages this section here, and as the slide goes back, it would make that stud go left and right. That's what locks and unlocks it. Then to remove the barrel, you would need to turn it slightly so that it can come all the way out, and then the barrel comes out. So then here we see our locking lugs, and they simply lock into the recesses that are down in there. So that's pretty much it as far as disassembly goes. You can see our firing pin protruding right back there. We have an external extractor. Of course, you have your chamber face there. This is as far as you would need to disassemble this. Any further disassembly, you'd need to be driving out pins to be able to access the firing pin or anything like that. This rear assembly attaches to the front part of the slide via those pins, and that's what would retain the firing pin and all of that. You wouldn't need to remove that for general cleaning purposes or anything. Generally, that would only have to be done if there was some type of damage to the firearm. So this is as far as you would need to go. Basically, you could clean everything up here. This little section right here, this empty space, that's where the hammer goes. And then it would strike the firing pin there. So this is pretty much it. Reassembly is just the opposite. You put your barrel in. It has to be, this stud needs to be over a little bit so that it can go in, and then put that in there, and then that locks and unlocks. Put in this piece here, and there again you can see as that would cause the barrel to lock and unlock. And the frame, this little notch right here, go ahead and pop this out. That little notch right there is what that little saddle locks into. Put your guide rods in. The two little protruding parts go into the holes in the front, and then you would just have to push it forward. So the fact this all moves makes it a little bit difficult, but they just go into that little recess right there. So you just have to push forward, just a tiny bit. So just push forward and then down, and it just goes in right like that. You align your grooves there on the slide with the corresponding grooves on the front there. And as you slide it back, push the trigger forward to lower that saddle. Slide it back, let up, and that locks it back in place. Go ahead and do a function check, make sure everything's working, and we're reassembled.